What is up, everyone? Welcome to a special edition of AOS Trash Pandas. I'm your host, Rob, and with me, as usual, is Carson. And I'm just going to apologize in advance because we are a little bit late here. And also, I was spending that time because Elgato just forced another update on me and it reset everything. And now it's just literally not working. Like, I can't get it to come through the headset at all. And so we've just kind of given up. So there might be a little bit of an echo tonight, and I apologize. But I don't really know what to do else. We've been trying to work on it for about, 20 minutes. I got everything working after the update, and then I tried to put the headset on, and that's when it all fell apart. So thank you to everyone for showing up. How's it going, Carson?
Going pretty well. We had a pretty good break. I guess you haven't technically been on the show for like 4 weeks, something like that.
Right. So last week it was Canada Day, and we were just like, there's nothing to talk about, and it was crazy. And then the week before that, I had my son's graduation or something, and so yeah. So that was yeah, that's crazy. It feels like it's been a while. I guess the updates piled up or something. But yeah. So, okay. So we do have a rumor engine. There is an echo. Yeah. Well, again, we tried. Like, I'm gonna try and figure it out after the show. I apologize, but there's just like, we couldn't get it to come. I couldn't get Carson to come through the headset and also have it like go out on stream. So that's sort of what happened. But anyway, do you have any ideas about the rumor engine? I'm going to try and just mute my mic while you're talking.
Okay, sounds good. We're on full push to talk mode. This feels like a meeting full of software engineers at this point. The rumor engine, like, they noted something about like the triangles or the triangle patterns in the like the text of the rumor engine, which made me think Hashut, maybe. Like, perhaps this is because they're probably going to be, I mean, this is a spoiler for the rest of the show, but like with Chaos Dwarves incoming, we think this could be that. Just like lots of like alchemy, like almost like chaos science-y sort of stuff on a big tool belt. Makes sense to me. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I was so busy with other stuff that I never even really looked at it. I didn't think of Chaos Dwarves, though. That's for sure. If I were to, it's kind of reminding me, though, a bit of like Cruel Boys and stuff too. But yeah, I don't really know enough about like their whole alchemy deal. But Chaos Dwarves does seem kind of likely. But it'd be weird to like. Wouldn't it be weird to put that out and then reveal it? Maybe not. Maybe it's more hype.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that this is going to be like again, spoilers for probably the rest of the show when we do our predictions, but like, I don't know that it's necessarily going to be like a here's the whole range that we're announcing type reveal. I have a feeling it's going to be like, here's the teaser for like Chaos Dwarfs kind of thing, and then we'll see more and more later. And I doubt these are going to be released anytime, even in the next like 4 months, probably like at the end of the year, which lines up with rumor engines sometimes, I think.
Do you think that it's, do you think we're going to see, actually, why don't we go into it first? Cause like, we're just pretty much we're trying to talk about like what the thing is. So before that happens, I'm going to put up, where is it? Podcast picks. There it is. So there are some new vampire dice. They're gorgeous. They're ultra matte. They can be used for flesh eater courts because they're sort of a bat vampire-y creature design. They're ultra matte. They came out wonderful, and they are up on the website now. And thanks to all the people who have been buying the orc dice are sold out. I can't remember if I said that before. The new meat dice came in, and some people have bought those. They look awesome. Carson can attest to that. And so now we've got these as well. So Yeah. Get them while they're there.
Yeah, I used the new meat dice at Battered Bison, which uh, they did not treat me super well. I think that anytime I use any sort of like meat related product, it just does not end well for me. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna put these to the side and use my old dice. I'm normally not a superstitious person, but I'm definitely dice superstitious. So they'll definitely be for like handing out to people, but not for me to use, I think.
Oh no, that's too bad. Yeah, the I've the other thing too though is like you can start off with dice and feel a certain way about them. Like I felt that way about the rat dice, and no, those things roll hot for me. At first, I was like, I don't think these things roll really well, but if anything, they roll too well. Your old meat dice though, would people were accusing you of, of them being too good before the Carson mustache dice.
On stream, I think that's the case, but not in person.
But
Definitely not in person. I
at
remember last
tournament, though,
year,
people were kept talking about your charges with ogres before in like third edition.
I don't know.
Doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, all I remember is last year at Tacoma when I used the Meat King dice. Like, good God, was it bad? It was like a nightmare scenario uh, against at least one of my opponents. But I'm sure it's like they're fine. Any dice are fine, but
In reality,
there's something
that's
about
true.
just, like me being like, I kind of get in my own head about like these are dice that are like on brand for me, which feels like vain. And I'm just like, I hate this, and I just roll them feeling terrible, and I'm just like, no, I don't like this. No, I can't do it. Like I'm fine rolling like club dice or like mixed dice that people give me, or like the Team Canada dice and stuff. But man, I can't do anything that has anything to do with me. Otherwise, I'm just like, what am I doing?
That's fair. Yeah, we'll have to kind of see. They are square cornered too, so they do tend to roll more fairly, or that's the idea. But yeah, the old Kraken dice, like there's a lot of people that swear by those dice, but they're round cornered. Whereas the new Kraken dice, they seem like the most fair to me, probably. Like I don't notice either one way or the other. But yeah, we're all kind of superstitious with dice, but I've rolled well enough with, like I played Roman on Saturday, and I was using Galvaniers because I was trying to use my team list, and they rolled like a lot of shots every time. Like definitely, because like what's the average on 6 or on 12d6? What's the average on 12d6? Would it be like
3.5 times 12, I guess.
right?
Yeah.
So what would be 42 on
Yeah.
average? Yeah, and I think like the minimum I had was 44. And I think that might have been on like 4 or 5 guys. Anyway, they were rolling real well, but I haven't tried out the Vampire FEC dice, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, okay, so now we'll get on to. Actually, I'm going to put these beautiful, beautiful dice. Why isn't it letting me select them? Okay, I'm going to put them down over here so they don't block the previews. So, have you seen their preview, by the way?
The video?
Yeah, the video.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay, I actually haven't seen it. I haven't had any, like, I don't even, when did it come out? Was it yesterday or the day before? Something like that.
It was like Friday even maybe, or
Okay.
something, like over the weekend maybe.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to mute myself. I think that this will be a good mixture then, probably. Like, it'll be like someone, who's maybe thought about it a little bit, and someone who's never seen it before. So, yeah, we'll see. Okay, I'm gonna put on these guys. How do I? There we go. That. I'm just going to. I had to like bring it down a bit. Okay. Actually, I guess that's about the best I can do. Okay. So so we're going to go through we'll watch it from the start, right? And then we'll pause it when we get, because they try on hats, right? Okay.
Adam, did you hear? They want us to do another Warhammer preview.
Nice. What's in this one?
Oh, it's a good one. Models, books, some armored guys with bolt guns, probably some folks with swords, that sort of thing.
How are we going to tell people? We could use an astropath.
Oh, whoa. I am way ahead of you. I'm actually just recording this video call, so we can just use that.
Ooh, I like that plan. 2 birds, 1 stone. You know what could be fun? If we put some clues to what's in the preview in this video.
Okay, that was the first one, I guess, right? He has what's clearly that's the eye for the Inquisition, I think, right?
I don't know if I recognize any of the hats. We can't hear you. You're
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not used to this. The button's also really far for me, so I'm just like every time. I think that's all I think I know is that's the eye from the Inquisition. So maybe what's the eye? The eye in 40K, or the Inquisition could be the Inquisition themselves. Maybe Death Watch is part of the Inquisition, I think. I think Grey Knights are part of the Inquisition. So one of those things. Anyone have any thoughts? Let us know in the chat, by the way. This isn't just... You love your Kraken and meat dice? Thanks, Big Ron. Have you seen the new meat dice? They look more like a steak than the old pork. Anyway. Or do we just not care because this is 40K? Is that the...
I don't think the individual hats necessarily have anything to do with what we think is going to be revealed. It's just that they keep changing hats, I think.
I thought, well, didn't they say that they were going to use the different hats? Like, that's what I understood too, is that like these hats are supposed to represent the things that are in the show.
I don't know.
Oh, so Riley says it's an illusion. They're alluding to them bringing those Death Watch dice back. Okay. Huh. I don't know what those are. Okay, well, we can move on to the next hat.
This video.
Like what?
It would need...
What the hell is that? I don't even know what that is. Like, is that supposed to be like a knight thing? Like is that supposed to be like a knight's helmet? Like Bretonia? Or I don't know. I don't know what that is. Like,
It seems like a cosmonaut helmet or something like that. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
so like, yeah, I don't know. I think that was supposed to be something. New Voltan, says Beefy. Yo, Brayden, thank you so much. You bought 120 dice? Holy crap, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's amazing. What were we talking about?
This guy's penis hat?
He's not wrong. Okay. I mean, I got nothing. I'll move on.
Need to be subtle.
Say no more.
No.
You're muted.
I was trying to like pause it super quick, and then like I just started clicking on like things. I don't even know what happened. Because I saw like a pharaoh hat. Not a feral hat, but like a pharaoh hat, like an Egyptian. Yeah, like Tomb Kings, exactly like that. What's with that weird snork? Anyway,
Say no.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so Tomb Kings, and they said that the old world's going to be in there. So is this Tomb Kings Part 2 Electric Boogaloo?
Maybe. I think like they've shown that they're willing to create new sculpts for the old world now, so I wouldn't be surprised if they release new sculpts for the Tomb Kings or something. It would be weird if like they got rid of all of the old sculpts and like replaced them with new ones. I feel like that would probably anger a lot of people.
Just bought a bunch of stuff, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. But maybe they're like additional units or something.
Yeah, like an expansion or something, or maybe even like a resculpt of some units. Yeah. Well, it's been over a year now since they've been out, right? It's been like a year and a half. So, huh.
No more.
Nice.
Okay, now this one is I mean it's a tricorner hat, right? So like you think of like the old Navy, but most people probably think of pirates. Someone might call that a pirate hat. If they come out with like, there's no way they're doing Tomb Kings and like another brand new army. Like we just got, or they just got, what's it called? Cathay, right? But if they come out with, what's it called? The vampirates from, like, remember in Total War, they got like the whole release of that army. Like if they came out with that, I might have to play Old World just for that army, because that would be so sick.
What is it called again? The something Coast? The
Vampire Coast. I think
Vampire
that's the
Coast,
name.
okay.
Yeah. Someone's probably saying it. Yeah. Vampire Cost, according to Beefy, but Vampire Coast confirmed. Yeah. Sorry. It's hard to look at the chat and have my finger on the mute button. I'm going to bring this forward and hopefully not unplug it. There we go. There we go. That's easier. Okay. Yeah. The old tricorner hat, but like, what else could it be?
people are saying freebooters, like 40k orc freebooters.
Oh, that's probably what it is. Good job, everyone. Right. But like, I've heard that the rumor is that orcs are coming for 40k 11th edition. Or I see, but it would just be like a box maybe. Is that what the idea is? I don't know enough about orcs in 40k. Oh man.
I don't know either.
Beefy said could be underworlds. So like that would be like a good way of just getting us some vampirates finally. The old Warhammer sculpts all had tricorners. You mean for the orc freebooters, Riley? Skaven submarines? Hey, I'd be down for that. I like all these guesses, to be honest. My favorite would probably be vampirates, just because like what an original and cool idea. And like the whole lore with I can't come up with his name, but the main guy who like rides the zombie dragon in the game, he was cool. Completely nuts, but that's why I liked him. Oh, Alex's new Captain Badruck. Alex knows his orcs. Do you want to add anything before I move on to the next hat, McCarson? No?
Nope, I was just looking at the old Badrook sculpt and definitely needs an update.
Then he's probably onto something. Yeah, I think that's probably and maybe like a box of like orc freebooters in addition to that. Cool. I guess I'll move on to the next hat.
Hat, by the way.
Thanks.
Okay, the top hat is Chorf's, right?
Wait, are you looking at the top hat or like the how big of a top? Because there's another hat after that I think is bigger. I can't.
Well, I figured.
Was it the one immediately after the try?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, it gets better.
Not too big, is it?
No.
Okay, okay. This is a mage's hat, right?
One more.
Okay, but this isn't part of. Okay, but then if the first one is Chorfs, and then this is a mage, so what would that be? Like, is the first one not Chorfs? Is this one? This one can't be Chorfs. Alex says new Warhammer crime novel.
It's a little disorienting. Like, I don't exactly know what you're looking at right now. Is it the
weird like mage's hat? It's like a brown. Isn't that like a mage's hat?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what, new endless spells? Like, what is just pure magic? I mean, that's assuming that it's for AOS. My mind always goes to AOS. Yeah. Or like cities expansion of mages, because like some of the old mages in there are like old, right? I don't think we've had any new like pure mages in cities.
Yeah, other than the Alchemite Warforger, I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, the Battle Mage and the one on the Griffin, the Celestial Huracanum are all pretty old.
Right. Some people are saying Chorf Mage, but do they have mages? Old World just got a whack of wizards. So yeah, I don't think that we're getting to see any more of that. Yeah, Beefy says new manifestation endless spells. Yeah, I'm wondering if there's going to be like a new general. That was the only thing I could think of. Okay. So you're saying keep going though.
Big hats, best hats.
Okay, that's a big hat. That's wait, who was wearing? He was also wearing a top hat. But like, so it got bigger. So his was like a Chorf, like alluding to Chorfs, I think. And then he put on the mage hat, and then his hat got bigger and got more Chorfy. So I'm gonna say they're both Chorf. He's just like, you thought that was Chorf. No, this is Chorf, right? Unless there's more. Is there more? Does it get even bigger? I'm on the second top hat. Okay.
We should tell people when it is.
Okay, that's a Jester hat. That's got to be Harlequins, right? For 40K? Yeah. Because there's just nothing else that I can think of. I mean, like, if I was trying to be really, really weird, I hope it's Harlequins, just to be clear, but I guess you could say maybe it's like another cities thing is possible. I don't think so. We just got like a bunch of city stuff, but like some kind of like court jester like hero for cities would actually be kind of sick in my opinion. But okay.
It's on July 18th at 7 p.m.
Wait a second. I went too far again. So that's another pirate hat. Oh man. There's no way we're getting another new army for the old world though. Like right after. I'm going to say it's orc. I'm going to think that the chat is right. Orc freebooters, right? Yeah. Okay.
See you there.
And then there's a cowboy hat. What the hell? Can anyone explain the cowboy hat?
They already redid the sculpts for the Imperial Guard where they were like riding on horseback with like grenade spears, right?
Yeah, as far as I know. Imperial Guard are not my thing at all. So
okay, that's like the most cowboy thing I can think of. I think, what were they called? The Rough Riders or the something Riders? I don't know. Not the CFL team, but
that's what I was gonna say. I don't know if it's still the case, but at one point in the CFL, out of our like 8 or 9 teams, there was 2 teams named Rough Riders.
Well, there's a number 3 because I just looked it up. It's the Attilan Rough Riders. They are actually called Rough Riders.
Big fans of the CFL, those guys.
Yep.
opening a new plant in Texas. Yeah, it might actually like Underworlds or something like that. I could see that being the case, or like Necromunda, or just something like that. It's kind of like out there. Okay, apparently that was the last hat. The cowboy hat was the last one.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean that's kind of fun. Yeah, there wasn't as much to that as I kind of hoped there would be, and like the hats were like rapid fire, so like I had to keep going back and finding stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Not as much to go on as I hoped.
That's pretty much it. Like they put on a bunch of different hats, which I guess like people are saying, I think freebooters make sense, Chaos Dwarfs make sense. I guess more what's it called? Tomb Kings, I guess more Tomb Kings. And then
Harlequins
the
for
problem
sure.
with the wizard hat is it could be like literally anything, right? Because there's so much magic everywhere. It's like, what could it be? So yeah, I don't know.
I think Harlequins are another lock.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And then, yeah, the mage's hat is the most like whatever. It's like the rumor engines where you just don't really know what the hell's going on. But then, I mean, they showed a pirate hat twice. And, but they also showed Kill Team, and Kill Team's super popular. So I bet freebooters are a kill team. Because Harlequins, like, literally need an expansion. Like, their army is quite small. It's like the Deepkin of 40k, right? Very limited amount of sculpts. So I mean, I guess they could also be a kill team as well, though. That's the other.
Yeah. There's also another clip. So Beefy just put in the chat that the email that they sent out shows the games that they're previewing.
Right.
And
that I did see. But
yeah, it's actually, maybe I can send you like a screenshot.
Isn't it like everything? It's like Imperialis, Old World. Actually, yeah, maybe send me a screenshot and I'll throw it up on the screen. Harlequins versus Orcs and Kill Team, but then what is it for 40k? Like something has to be for 40k. It's like their biggest game. Okay, so I'm gonna just adjust the image a bit, but feel free to, extrapolate your thoughts. Did you send me something else, or was that something else?
I think it was something else.
Okay, so because I can't just talk anymore. So we've got Warhammer 40k, and we've got the Horus Heresy, but like not necessarily everything is going to be, you know what I mean? Like something that they're gonna hint at, right? So, but like surely they're gonna hint at something with 40k, Age of Sigmar, the Old World, and I'm going to say Kill Team, because I think Kill Team is actually like their second highest selling game right now. I think it's selling more than AOS. So, and And like the Horus Heresy just got a brand new like edition, so I feel like the sort of what they're going to show off is probably going to be a little more minor. It's also harder to like how do you maybe that's what the goofy stupid white helmet was about. I forgot all about that helmet because I didn't understand what the heck it's supposed to be. But oh yeah, Inquisitors in Horus Heresy. That's a good point. Qual says at the start of 4th edition, there was a giveaway for every Skaven model released in the next year. Now that we're past the 1 year mark, what do you think the odds are of more Skaven are, example, new Night Runners? Well, like, there's no way that they don't make new Night Runners at some point, right? Like, they kept them in the game, and those models are crazy old and crazy ugly. So, and there was also talk, like I've heard many people say, like, is Warcry dead? Are they killing Warcry? I don't think they are, to be honest, because it costs them basically nothing to keep it around. But I'm wondering if it's going to be rebranded. Like we're gonna get something. I don't think they're gonna squash the game because, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't cost them anything. But like I think a rebranding would be a good idea because the rules are like they're not that well balanced. So like, even though it's really great for people who are new to the game, it can also be kind of frustrating, I think, is sort of the issue. But like, if they remake it in Kill Team's image, then my God, I think they could sell a lot. So that's what at some point they're going to remake the Night Runners. Whether it's going to be part of Warcry or not, I'm not really sure. I think is my final answer. And like they did say, these are all the Skaven models that are going to be shown within the next year, which is like clearly hinting that like they have something in the pipeline, I think, you know, but yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that, I don't know, Warcry's in a really weird spot where like we don't know exactly what's happening to it. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they just like axed it. And maybe, I don't know, maybe they fold it into Spearhead in some way or something like that, just because, I don't know, we've got like these new Spearhead boxes coming out that, no, those are Underworld's warbands that are being included in them. So yeah, I don't know, it's tough to say, but I agree with you that the Night Runners are definitely going to get a rework at some point, because like they're good God are they ugly. Like,
I mean, they're like 20 years old or something. Like they're the old monkey dogs. It's like back when they were sculpting stuff out of green stuff, I think, you know, they're the old ugly monkey dogs. So, I mean, I've literally been saying new Night Runners, you know, coming in Warcry for the past year, ever since we knew that we weren't getting new Night Runners with the new Skaven release. I've been saying that like it's going to come to Warcry, but if they squash the game, then what do they just come out like on a box on their own? Like, I feel like GW almost seems to like need a reason. They're like a big fan of you know, just like having a reason, like, oh, it's Christmas, so therefore we got to release something green and red, or just, you know what I mean? It's just like, doesn't even make sense half the time, but they need an occasion. It feels like. So maybe Night Runners versus X in the new, like in a new Warcry box, or because like Kill Team is so popular, right? So like 40K came first, and then they got combat patrols, and we kind of knew therefore that we were going to get something similar. And then they did it better with AOS. Like the AOS Spearheads, no one disagrees, I think, that Spearhead is way better than Combat Patrol, right? So they kind of iterated on it, made it better. So like, why wouldn't they do the same thing with Kill Team? Like, it worked so well.
yeah, I think one of the reasons why Kill Team is so wildly successful though is that a lot of people are buying Kill Team boxes for 40K. And because 40K
That's true.
is the #1 game, there's a lot of like bleed over. So I could see that. I don't know if it's necessarily that like the second most people play Kill Team. But that might be true too, just because if you play 40k, then you already have like kill teams made essentially. But still,
I was sometimes I watch that channel. Well, a couple of them. So there's Guerrilla Miniature Games, and then sometimes he interviews the owner. I forget his name. I think it's Chris from Lords of War. They're basically a store, and they basically just talk about the retail side. And it's quite interesting. And he goes on to Guerrilla Miniature Games, and they were saying that Kill Team is like, as a game, it's ludicrously popular. And I kind of get, like, I think from what they were saying and their theory on it is that, like, there's a lot of people that, like myself, I like the universe of 40K. I like the universe of AOS way more, but I love the universe of 40K. But I can't keep up with that sort of grind, that sort of, you know what I mean? That, because like the meta keeps changing and like you can't keep up with that stuff. And like 40K armies are massive. Like you need to spend way more money to collect a 2,000 point army in 40K than you do in AOS. And so there's a lot of people like me who are just like, yeah, I love Tyranids. I like Space Marines. You know what I mean? I like all these things. I like 40K orcs and whatnot, but I'm not going to, it's like they're kind of explaining it like it's catching, Kill Team is catching the 40K people that are kind of done with the grind and just want to paint like a Kill Team, have fun with their buddies, and everything they need is in the box. They got everything they need to play, but they can still have like a competitive, good experience. And so like, but regardless if like whether or not, like it doesn't really matter too much whether Kill Team is like selling a lot because you're getting terrain and you're getting kill teams and like units for 40K, or whether the game is just popular on its own. The IP is a success, right? Like they're selling a lot of Kill Team branded stuff. I don't think anyone would argue with that, right? So now there is like going to be like, you know, a lot of people that are coming. There are going to be some people who are buying it for 40K, but like that whole thing can still work for AOS. You know what I mean? Like it's just like another place to put your money. It's just another basket for them to collect all the cash that's falling through. You know what I mean? Or like even like people like who are, I think Kill Team also works for like people who are like me, who are like AOS is my main game, but I'll play Kill Team because it's just I just buy a Kill Team. I paint up one Kill Team and then I've got everything I need. So the vice versa could work as well, because like most people in 40K even recognize that like the AOS models kill it, you know, almost every time. So they can just be like, well, I could just get an AOS warband. You know what I mean? Like, I think all of these things can be true. I don't know though. Like, we'll see.
Yeah, it's tough to say. Like, I definitely think that they would. Sorry, I just dropped something. They would sell really well if they did do something like that. I think that's, in a weird way, I think that's what they were trying to do with Underworlds, but because Underworlds is like so self-contained into these like tiny little, like I want to say warbands, but tiny little squads that are like fixed. It doesn't quite work the same way where it's you, because I think a lot of people like agency when they construct lists, and Kill Team kind of allows you to, like, if I'm not mistaken, you can pick like any different models you want and assemble them into a Kill Team instead of it being just like this rigid roster, right?
Not exactly. So you buy like a Kill Team box and it comes with like 5 to like 10 miniatures in like in a set squad, but you're getting more. Like Warhammer Underworlds warbands are like typically like 3 models, and I think that the new Raveners for Tyranids are like the least amount of models, with 5 models in a Kill Team. I think most of them have more than that though. And then, but each guy in your Kill Team can be built as like in 2 different ways. So like all the Raveners can be built as a Warrior Ravener, or a like Tremor Ravener, or a Venom Spitting Ravener, or whatever, right? Whereas Underworld's warbands, they're like they're usually like named characters. Like Mollog is like a troll, and he has his pet bat mushroom thing or whatever. And Spearhead, Qual was saying, it sounds like you're describing Spearhead, but with extra list building. Spearhead is more list building in a way. I mean, they're both set things, right? Whereas in Spearhead, you are you're getting what, like a minimum of 3 units, usually 4, because like, and it depends on how many heroes you have. Like the vampire. The Soulblight Gravelords one, or the first one anyway, was a Vampire Lord on foot. It was 2 units of skeletons, 2 units of 10 skeletons, a unit of Blood Knights, and a, what are they called? Vargeist. A set of 3 Vargeist. So that's like 5 different units. Or maybe 4 if you just, because the skeletons are really just 1 box of skeletons, right? Whereas if that was a kill team, you would be talking like, just the 1 box of skeletons would be a kill team effectively. Although one with like a lot more models than they normally have. Like I think they normally have like up to like 10 or 12 models, maybe at the most. Like I forget how many, maybe someone could figure out how, or tell me how many are in the Ratlings. But like I think that one's the one with the most amount of like possible duders in there. And yeah. So Bear says maybe this is how they'll rebrand Mortheim. This is something I've actually thought about as well. I don't know that they'll use Mortheim as an IP, but like if they made effectively Mortheim but AOS, like that would be, I think that would be very popular, and I would buy that even if it didn't have any Skaven in it. Like I would be so up in there. But if it was Mortheim if it was Warhammer branded Mortheim, man, I'm not only am I buying that, and then if there's night runners in there, oh my god, like I guarantee you I will run content for the channel, like heavily whatever narrative campaign. Oh man, I hope that's what it is. Damn it, Bear. Could you just let me be, you know? I just don't want to be disappointed. But I did want to point out, I actually said this in a previous podcast. Not Kill Team. Warcry. Okay, no. Kill Team came out last year. They did the new brand thing of Kill Team, right? That was a year after 40K 10th edition came out. Okay? We're now a year after AOS came out. So if they're going to do a rebranded or new version of or squashed and reimagined Mortheim or something like that, it's probably going to happen now. It's probably going to happen at this show. And Alex brings up a good point that I almost said as well, but Ratlings want you to also buy Ogryns and Bullgryns. So, all right, sorry, did you say how many are the max you can have in there? 1 box kill teams Rob was talking about. Yeah. Need various boxes. That's true. But what's the maximum amount of models you can get in the if you only take Ratlings, how many can you get in there? Because like I don't think there's 20 of them, right? Like there is for skeletons.
What is the difference? So I never actually played Mortheim, but I know it was like wildly popular. What's the difference between like Mortheim and say like what Warcry is now?
So Mortheim is like very much a narrative that you kind of build. So there's like the story of this city called Mortheim that was hit by like this comet made out of warpstone. And it's like, I forget how long it's before. It's like 400 years before the events of 8th edition or whatever. And then it gets demolished. And the humans call it Weird Stone, but it's really Warpstone. And so then you've got these different like bands of people going in there to get the Weird Stone and whatnot. And it's almost like a video game where like you've got like or what's it called? You remember XCOM? It's sort of like that. And then you like each character on your roster, you have to pay them gold or whatever, and they can get injured. and die, and you know what I mean? And so it becomes like this, and like it's yeah, you go in and you're trying to like fight in these scenarios and pick up weird stone and make money to hire more people for your war band. And yeah, I think that's I don't know. Did I describe that at all in a way that you could understand? Like that I'm not sure. If
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah, I think I get it. Actually, weirdly, the XCOM analogy helped as well, where you're like managing like specific people instead of just like arbitrary models that are just like, I don't know, like a free guild swordsman or something like that. Like it's just like an actual guy with a name and stuff like that. So yeah.
yeah, and you can like give them upgrades. Like you could add like you could give them like poisoned weapons or whatever for Skaven, and yeah, and like you just have like one rat ogre, named Jeff or something like that, and yeah, it was really cool. And yeah, if they kind of made like a slim down, like, because if they made like actual Mortheim, there would be probably like, if it made a modern Mortheim, there would probably be a lot of crossover between the AOS and fantasy crowd. Like that might be a way of like pooling those crowds together.
Yeah, I can see that. Also, Saul says that Bellicor was in the Warpstone Meteor. Neat.
I didn't know that. That's crazy. And Saul says it's closer to Necromunda. It is Necromunda. Like, Necromunda is the 40k version of Mortheim. I don't know which one came first. I think it was Necromunda. Most of the fantasy stuff actually came first. Like Battlefleet Gothica was first in fantasy, and it was called... I can't remember. But yeah, but I think maybe Necromunda came first in this case.
Neat. Very neat. Yeah, so based on the image that you're showing as well, it says that it's going to be it is the 10-year anniversary of AOS as well, and there's going to be like a big reveal, which I think all of us assume is Dwarfs.
Definitely.
So
yeah,
I kind of I'm kind of curious to see what like people think is actually going to be Dwarfs, because what we know as Dwarfs is like, the big like chaos demon trains and like the big hats and like, they've got like the like long, like almost like dreadlock beards and stuff like that. Like it's very like a unique thing, but I have a sneaking suspicion that they're not gonna bring them back in that way, and that I think it's gonna be more like worshippers of Hashut that sometimes includes dwarves, but not always. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think.
I think you're right. Like LRL are AOS high elves. Like that's obvious, I think, to anyone who's paying attention at all. And they really changed them. Like there's no, what are they called? White lions of whatever it was called. There's no, like, none of that iconography and almost like avatar like symbology of different animals is in them at all. Now it's kangaroos and cows and horses or something. I forget what they were. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But like, so like, if they bring back like traditional tall hat chaos dwarves, everyone's just going to be like, wait, why isn't that being brought back to fantasy? Because that is fantasy. Whereas if they bring back, yeah, like you said, Hashut, worshippers of Hashut, it'll probably be like engineers of Hashut. It'll be something like, you know what I mean? It won't just be like something as broad as worshippers, probably. Like, what are they called? Like Arcanites of Slaanesh? Or what is it? Hedonites of Slaanesh. Yeah. And then, is it Zeech? What is Zeech again?
Disciples of Zeech.
Disciples of Zeech.
Blades of Corn. Yeah.
Exactly. So it'll be something weird. It'll be like evocative. But
Fellows of Hashut.
But that's not unisex, so it's not going to be that.
Oh, you're right.
Only because it's not unisex, though.
Folks of Hashut. Yeah.
I think that's it, folks. Yeah.
Yeah, and the folks is with an X instead of a KS.
That's what makes it AOS, like daemons or elves.
Orcs.
I think you're onto something.
Ogres.
Oh, Eric says traditional Chaos Dwarves had Hobgrots as half the army. I didn't know that. I used to play them back in the day, but I do not remember Hobgrots as being part of that. I think you're right, though. It sounds familiar. I even had like the old book. I remember they had blunderbusses and crazy stuff in there. But felons, leagues of Hashut. It can't be league. They've already got leagues of Votan. Don't be silly. I think it's going to be homies of Hashut because of the alliteration.
Yeah. I like what Bear Chill says. Liquors of spicy demon batteries. That's good.
It is a little long.
That's true. But I
Yeah.
just imagine on the battlefield like yeah. Get away from me.
I hope that's I would love that.
That's it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Can we shorten that at all though? Like where is it? Bear. Liquors. Or how about just demon battery liquors? DBS or DBL. Wait, demon, yeah, DBL for short. New Clockwork Destruction or Vampire Coast for AOS. Man, I was talking about Vampire Coast earlier, Sockjack. I think it's going to be Hobgrot Wolf Riders. That would be sick. I mean, we kind of just got Wolf Riders too for goblins, but Licky Zappy Beardos. I think Riley actually has it. That's it. John says, interesting question. If it isn't Chaos Dwarves, what army would it be since they have one confirmed for the Mortal Realms? That's actually a great thing. I mean, like the hats, and then we've seen the symbols of Hashut. Like, it's definitely going to be something with Hashut. But this is a fun exercise in imagination. So, Carbson, if that's your real name, if you can't pick Hashut as the release, what do you pick? Oh,
sorry. That's what I was doing.
damn it. Okay.
If it's not Hashut as the release, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of what's primed to be the next thing. It's like the thing that I don't know is if it's going to be like Chaos Dwarves or if it's just going to be like, here's a big faction with a tiny portion of it that's like an homage to Chaos Dwarves, essentially, right? If I had to pick something else, I don't know. That's really tough. I don't think they would do Vampire Coast, which is what someone said in chat.
That would the other thing that so Vampire Coast would be my second favorite thing. But I don't know. It depends on how they do it. Because I actually thought that the Total War Vampire Coast were not as cool as they could have been. I love the zombies they're just a lone bloat zombie that blows up. You just run them into their unit, then they kill themselves, and it just wipes out the whole unit. They were there's a bunch of really cool things in there. But if it's not Chorfs, if it's not Hashut, and it's not it's definitely Hashut, but let's say it's not Hashut, right? The thing that I want it to be is Kurnothi. Because that face that they showed, I actually thought it was some kind of avatar of Kurnos, the old, wood elf sort of god of the hunt. By the way, Eric sent me a picture of the old Hobgrots on Wolf, the old Chorf unit. So I put them up on the screen there for everyone. Thanks to Eric.
I like what Riley said in the chat, which is centaurs of fawn and centaurs and fawn of destruction. So basically, like what beasts of chaos were, but destruction instead. That's fun.
Man, what a kick in the pants it would be. What if it was like, what are they called? Beasts of Chaos. It's like Beasts of Hashut. And they're all just basically like cooler looking beastmen. Oh, Jesus. That would be, yeah, that would be funny.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just Beast of Chaos, but beasts is spelled in a weird way, like Beests or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sorry about the Facebook notifications. The what do you call it? Discord goes into streaming mode for me, but Facebook does not. But we got a cool picture out of it, so. If you do watch them on your computer, though, you're probably just like, did I get a message? That happens to me all the time. I was watching a stream the other day, and I think it was something for Street Fighter, but it might have been something for AOS. And like the whole time there it was like Discord notifications, and I kept having to check Discord, and I was just like, God dang it, I had to just shut it off. Because it was just constant. It was like literally. Anyway, so I apologize. I don't feel sorry, but I apologize. Hear me out. Minotaur centaurs.
Beasts of Chaos. Beasts. Just so dumb.
I love it. Eric says Tyrion LRL.
I feel like any kind of elves would just be a troll at this point. Like in my mind, I was like, Umberneth maybe could be a thing if it's somehow not Hashut. But I think there would be like screeching from the rooftops if that was the case instead of Chaos Dwarves.
I mean, I will say one thing. They have been teasing Umberneth and Malarian for 10 years now. So on the 10th year anniversary, if they're going to do it, but I think I'm not hating. This is not any kind of whatever, right? But like they had to cull like what, 30% or so of Stormcast Eternals, right? And then they redid a bunch of sculpts for this edition. Is next edition the edition where they're finally like, if we keep doing this, it's just gonna like, we're just making Stormcast and throwing them out into the ether here and just having to retire more things. Like it's not making them the money. They're not Space Marines. Like they kind of know that now. So is next edition, is it Umberneth versus some kind of death faction? Because like it's Chaos first, right? Chaos was Khorne, and then second edition was Night Haunt. So it went Chaos, Death, Destruction was Cruel Boys, and then we're back to Skaven, so that's Chaos. So the other faction has to be Death. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but that's just what we're going to tell ourselves probably, right? So then is the other faction Umberneth?
I hope so. I hope it's at least some other Order army or some other army in general. Just because I think a lot of people were thinking that this edition it might not be Stormcast again, and I think that if they do that again, it's going to get even more kind of like eye rolly for people. But yeah, I don't know.
Because like they retired so many kits, and people are still upset about it. And I don't think they're wrong to be either, because like, you know, you paint like a whole army of Sacrosanct Chamber. Like, what if that was your jam? Like, what if you were all about Sacrosanct? Like, that was the only thing that ever got you. Because that was the only thing that, other than dragons, just because dragons, that ever kind of got me interested in Stormcast. So I could have been one of those people. I could have been the person with just the Sequiturs and Kitty Caters and all those things. And then, you know, and now here we are, right? Beasts of Chaos. Did you close that poll, by the way?
No, I'll do that now. So people think with 64% or 63% rather, that it's just going to be like a multi-race Worshippers of Hashut release, which I think makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that's the most likely scenario. Because if they're traditional Chaos Dwarves, then they can't make them AOSified. Like, they have to take them directly out of fantasy. And then it's kind of like, well, then why aren't they just in fantasy? Is like what the general populace will probably think. Also, like, if you're not into dwarves as much, but you like the idea of Hashut, then that kind of gives, because like of all the fantasy races, and no one tell Dan that I said this, even though I'm publicly broadcasting it out on the internet, but like dwarves are the least popular fantasy race, right? Right? Like, I'm not hating. I'm just, let's be realistic here, right? Like, you've got humans. I mean, humans aren't fantasy, but like, even including humans, which are kind of lame because they're so vanilla or whatever to a lot of people, humans, elves, goblins, orcs, dwarves. What am I missing? What else is there? It's like a traditional fantasy trope. Rat men, lizard men,
Bee people.
Bee people. Yeah, if you're
Tree people.
Oh, tree people. I was like, bee people. Sure, why not? Let's just add them in there. That's cool. Yeah, like bee people is actually super creative. Like, that would be awesome, to be honest. But yeah, tree people. Yeah, absolutely. Treants, Trents. Yeah, like dwarves are the least popular, right? 3 dwarf factions, 1 rat faction, says Eric, but I bet you Skaven outsells all of the dwarf factions combined. Like, they have to, like, they're just, I'm real late tonight. It's okay, Ludivicus. We were late as well. Undead, that's another trope. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not hating on dwarves. Dwarves are cool. Just ask Bardic Broadcast. Like, the real players play with the dwarf, Barbarian is easy mode. I'm not hating. In fact, a part of me actually kind of hopes that it's more traditional. I'm just getting in the mind, like, okay, so like, I'm not a hater of Stormcast, but they're one of my least favorite factions in AOS because I see the almost commercialism. I see the committee design. Look at Space Marines in 40K going, these outsell everything like on their own for all of 40K and fantasy. Like, just Space Marines alone are like the biggest cash cow. So they were like, how can we take this well-selling product and force it? Like, they killed the whole universe so they could put Space Marines in fantasy. And that's like, any kind of creative person, I think, rebels against that to some extent. The kind of committee thinking, it's like when I see it in a movie or whatever. But like, even that, like, I'm not hating on it. It's like, I'm just trying to like realistically think, okay, how can they don't care about, they're not in it for like the lore. Like, they were gonna kill Slanesh back in AOS 1. Like, they were clearly trying to kill Slanesh, right? A lot of people don't know this. They were gonna kill the whole god in AOS. They had Slanesh chained up in a separate realm, and they were kind of going like the whole boob faction and weird tentacle monster thing. It doesn't sell well. It's not commercially viable. They're thinking like Disney-like, right? And so they were going to kill them, and then everyone was like, oh man, GW sucks now. And then they saw, oh, this is actually losing us money. We're losing our soul, and it's losing us money. Here we go. More half boobs, more androgynous tentacles and whatever, right? And then everyone loved it, and then they're like, oh, okay, we having a soul actually makes us money. But like, to a certain extent though, they got to look at it though, and like, I'm just trying to think, I'm trying to get inside the mind of an executive here, right? And be like, okay, Fire Slayers does not sell well. I would bet any money on that. Yes, they need an expansion. Yes, they don't have enough creative shit in there. Like, I totally agree with all of that stuff. I'm just saying, like, the facts are Fire Slayers probably sell the worst out of any AOS faction now, besides Bone Splitters, which doesn't even exist in AOS anymore, and maybe Beastmen, because they just never updated those models. But like Fire Slayers and, you know, I mean, I think KO is on the fringe too. And they're really cool. KO is like one of the coolest ideas they've ever had. Steampunk Sky Dwarves. Like, what? That's so creative, so awesome. It's been around since AOS 1. I'm not hating on any of these things. I'm just like trying to look at it like an accountant. I'm trying to look at it just numbers based, what makes them money. And I think that they think, at the very least, that making it worshippers of Hashut, a general thing where it could be orcs in there, it could be chaos orcs, it could be like anything. They could get really creative and weird and funky, and that's what I think they're going to do, because it'll probably no Slaanesh head on Archeon. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, that's another, yeah, like that. They were trying to do that. They were absolutely trying to kill Slaanesh. And Slaanesh is my least favorite chaos god, but I don't want that. You know what I mean? Because like people love Slaanesh. I don't want to play as Slaanesh, but I want to fight against Slaanesh. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? I'm not king shaming. Yep. Yeah, exactly, Riley. I'm just trying to like look at the nuts and bolts. Kind of weird when I said king shaming earlier, but you know, I'm trying to look at like, I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to get in their head is what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
I have a question. So what Chaos Dwarves were basically like siege engine / like demon engine creators. They're like very like technology focused and that sort of thing. Do you think that they're going to try and change what like the worshippers of Hashut are going to be, because that kind of steps on Skaven's toes with the whole Scryer thing? Because
that's interesting.
Skaven already covers like the Chaos faction that has like big like not siege things, but like big like mechanical creations of some kind. Like I think if they lean super heavily into that, like artillery and whatever, do you think that that's going to step on Skaven's toes? And do you think they would have seen that?
So, and I could be wrong. Please correct me in the comments. I really did like Chaos Dwarves back in the day. I bought their book, and I can't remember. I think I bought like one box, and I was gonna play them. I don't remember what happened because it was like 30 years ago. But I think of them as, I don't think of them as technology. I think of Hashut as the god of the forge. That's why there's like fire and lava and molten this and molten that. So no, like that, you know what I mean? Like if anything, like I think God of the Forge is almost like it's more stepping on like Khorne's toes in a way. You know what I mean? Where like it's kind of fiery symbology and like warrior-esque. But yeah, I think of them more as like the god of the forge and fire. But even if they do kind of push it into like more of like an engineering sort of thing, I think like the Scryer is more like the mad tinkerer versus like you could kind of just think about them as like the tinker rat versus the actual like technology, like stable, safe, reliable technology. Think about it like the Germans versus the Russians or something like that, where like the German, like, and in World War II, like famously had like their machines were like super well designed and everything. But then when they went into like Stalingrad and it was like -50, the German like machine guns and guns were like too precise or whatever, and so like they would stick in the cold, whereas the Russian ones were like rattling all over the place. And I don't know. Yeah, hope no one. Yeah. Sorry, Putin. Never mind. I
Yeah, sorry,
buddy. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. No, I always go back to that. I don't know if you remember a while back. We were on stream and I kind of found like this description that some random Redditor made of Hashut. I feel like Maybe, do you mind if I send you that again and we like just share it on stream again? 'Cause
We
I feel like
should.
it's perfectly
It was
encapsulated.
so good. Like, I don't know that I don't know how accurate it was. I actually forgot about it. Sorry about that was me. That was the Facebook thing was me.
Yeah. But like, so I don't know if you want to read it or you want me to read it or whatever. But like,
Why don't you read it? Because I've been talking a lot.
sure. But you can put it on screen at least. And I don't know. It's just like, if they make the faction like this, I will probably buy it, just based on like how good of a description this is. But so it's do you have it on the screen yet? Okay, sweet. So it's Hashut is a dark reflection of Grungni, the god of the forge of the Dwarden. He is a god of industry and fire. His motto is develop and build with no regards for anything else. Chaos Dwarden are extensive users of industry, chemistry, and slavery. It's not really clear if Hashut is a chaos god or not. Originally, he was a corrupted Dwarden god, but since the Great Horn Rat became a chaos god, Hashut could be one too. Unlike Nurgle, Hashut has no regard for living things. Metal and stone and fire are superior. Unlike Tzeentch, Hashut only seeks unidirectional change, progress. Unlike Khorne, Hashut does not seek violence as a purpose, but as a mean. Hashut's followers must seek resources, and violence is justified if it brings more progress. Unlike Slaanesh, Hashut does not care about pleasure or entertainment. He is fixated on the goal of production, and any distractions must be avoided. And then it kind of goes on for more things, kind of explaining the Chaos Dwarf lore. But I really like that as like a representation of like what the god is and how it's different from the other Chaos gods. So yeah, really great writing.
So
from
Hashut's the god of capitalism?
pretty much. Yeah.
I can help it. That whoever wrote this, by the way, I almost want to have them on the show and just be like, my God, man. Like, you're awesome. Like, I don't know if they just understand it really well or whether or not they kind of put their own, there's a certain amount of art in this description as well. But yeah. I mean, cause like Hashut, he said the god of, wait, what is it? He's the god of industry and fire. Where is it again? Something about like slavery. You said too, right?
Yeah. It's in the first paragraph.
He is the god of fire.
Chaos Dwarden are extensive users of industry, chemistry, and slavery.
That's what it was, right? So I was gonna say like, yeah, chemistry is kind of their own thing. Industry is their own thing, you know? And like slavery, like obviously famously like Skaven had Skaven slaves back in the day, but like they've kind of gotten rid of those. Well, they have gotten rid of those too outside of fantasy.
I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of shied away from that. That being said, they literally have a whole faction called Slaves to Darkness, but
forgot about that. Well, and I mean, like, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Like, are you saying that there's like a bad dark past to slavery that I'm not
maybe
aware of?
Maybe.
Okay, maybe I'll look that up later. You know,
Yeah, they should probably rename it to like Interns of Archaon or something like that. Like it's
interns. That's basically slavery, though, right? Yeah.
Unpaid interns of Archaon.
I mean, you need experience though, like to get your foot in the door, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I want to be a disciple of Tzeentch, but I can't get my foot in the door, so I gotta.
All the ads say 5 years experience.
Yeah. How am I going to become a hedonite if I don't have 5 years of experience as an Archaon intern?
Exactly. Beefy says I'd vote for him. I don't know what that means. Stupid.
Should maybe?
Should you'd vote for a should? Actually, let me think about that. Like, what are your choices, right? Like, not. I mean, if you're like really into rock and roll, Slaanesh all day, right? Nurgle's like the god that loves. He's like the one that loves his followers, right? And then like disease becomes not a bad thing, a good thing. I think Nurgle's up there in terms of like, You know?
I think you'd be the happiest under Nerdle.
Yeah,
for sure.
right. It depends on I think it depends on your disposition though, right? Like if you're like one of those people, like if you're like a, what do you call it? Like a researcher and all you care about is like whatever, like you're into your research and nothing else, then like Zeech is probably a good one. You know what I mean? And you're the kind of person who doesn't ask whether we should, you know, that line from Jurassic Park. You're just like, can we do this thing? Right? It might blow up in our faces, but, and you know, it's all about just discovering new stuff, change, right? And then if you're like a really angry person, you know, like if you're just like angry all the time, Korn, he's your guy, right? Like if you're just like an angry person, because like if you're like an angry person and then you go under Nurgle and you're just like, everyone's just like happy all the time. You're just like, screw these losers. Like they're happy all the time. But I'm a pretty happy guy. So I feel like Nurgle is probably my guy. But Hashut though, Hashut sounds kind of sick. Like, you know, if you're like a company man, you know what I mean? You're all about that.
Yeah. If you're like a Patrick Bateman, like Hashut all the way. Yeah. Every time.
If you're like an upper middle manager, you know, who's all about getting that like, you know, 5% extra profit each year, you know, streamlining your products, making better fonts.
I think Hashut would hate upper middle managers, wouldn't he? Like you think Hashut's
No.
like that, like startup grind life, like just like just like very trying to keep things as like lean as possible and changing, I guess. Like
I mean, it depends on like you're kind of insinuating that the upper middle manager is like bureaucratic, right? I'm thinking like if you're an upper middle, it depends on like everyone, you know, some people hate their jobs, but like I think Hashut likes, what are those people that come in? Remember Office Space? They have like the efficiency expert. That's it. Hashut likes the efficiency experts. They just come in, cut out the bottom 10%. You know what I mean? New hires, like who's going to grind? Who's ready to make something of themselves and make me more metal and I don't know, money and industry and yeah. Smokestack.
Hashut takes the foosball table out of the office, cuts your lunch hour down to a half hour instead, and it's just go, go, go. You know, that's Hashut.
But wait,
no more candy walls, no more screaming, anxiety pods, no more anything of that. Just all cubicle, computer, nothing. Just boom.
But wait. Don't like, what if those things increase production, efficiency?
I don't think it matters because, like, if the whole thing is that they'll use like slavery and stuff like that,
that's a good point.
Like, I don't think they care.
Yeah, I forgot about slavery again.
That whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, Hashut brings up time theft a lot, Eric says. Yeah. Did you know that stealing time is the same as stealing stationery from your company, according to the efficiency experts and ethics managers or something like that? Only warm water in the water cooler? Oh God. Maybe he's not my guy.
Not hot. So you can't have like hot honey lemon water or whatever. Like it's just like warm. You know?
It's room temperature. Because
perfect like bacteria culture growing temperature.
Great. I thought perfect bacteria growing was just slightly warm. Like
it should be just unpleasantly warm.
Unpleasantly warm.
Yeah. Because if it's like hot-ish, then you might enjoy it, and that's not okay.
That's true. But like you don't want them to get sick, because if they get sick, then they have to take time off of work.
Well, you just Kill them.
But but it costs more money to train a new person than it does to keep an existing person.
Again, like slavery. Like it's they'll just
Yeah, but it takes away from production, damn it. Like if you have to train like when at my old company, training took like 3 to 4 weeks, right? Depending on how quickly the person learning could absorb it and whatnot, right? And all that time, like the other people are basically like, you know what I mean? Like you're not getting 100% out of them, right? So like, I feel like, you know,
I feel like you kind of make up for it by just like turning them into food, and then you get value out of them if they're not like quick enough, right? And then you just grind them up into some like mulch.
so you're saying basically you make an
them
example out of them.
Yeah, you make an example that way, like people will learn to teach themselves, right? So the next person you bring in isn't going to be like that.
It's got dark.
Anyway, that's a shit. Shit is all about shrinkflation. Yeah.
Shit is the paperclip machine? What the hell is that?
I think that might be a reference to like a. Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but there's like an obscure. Maybe I'm wrong, but there's like an obscure like example for AI where it's essentially like if you give it a goal without any restraints whatsoever, like eventually, if it's just trying to make more paper clips, it will eventually start like harvesting all of the resources from Earth, and then realize that humans are only getting in the way and kill them and take the iron out of their blood and just like make more paper clips, like just like grinding people up into yeah.
Wait, is this a meme?
It's not a meme. It's just like it's like an example or like story or.
I want to know about that. The paperclip maximizing
machine. Yeah.
Okay.
If its only goal is to like make more paper clips, then eventually it will destroy the planet and turn it into paper clips, and humanity will die with it. So.
That's awesome. I don't know if that's a YouTube video, but I need to consume whatever content that comes from. That's amazing. That sounds right though. Yeah. GLaDOS. Oh yeah. That's a great reference. Truly one of the best games ever made. Very clever and funny. But we'll have paper clips. We'll have enough paper clips, and that's really all that matters. A thought experiment described by Swedish philosopher Nick Bostrom in 2003. Interesting.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, someone should turn it into a funny YouTube video.
I'm sure someone has.
I bet someone has, yeah. But does it, like, is it Rule 34?
Maybe.
Your eyes, when I said that, your eyes flared. Like, something happened in your brain at that moment. I don't know what it was, though. Yeah. Wait, are you Google searching this?
There's a lot of not safe for work stuff that comes up when you Google that. So I'm assuming it exists. But I don't particularly want to see that right now. So
yeah. Hopefully, yeah. I know. Damn it. That's too good. Jeez Louise. So okay, so not a lot of people know, but you have started working on Age of Sigmar.
I have.
What do you think the likelihood is of you getting derailed completely by Dwarfs or Hashut?
I think it's pretty high because like I kind of have this happened. Okay, so I got into Slaves to Darkness as like the army that I wanted to like scratch the Bretonia itch for, that I had for like since I was like 8, essentially. And then that summer they redid all of the Cities of Sigmar stuff, and I'm like, crap, I should have waited. I should have like got into them, and I ended up like getting a couple boxes of Cities of Sigmar through like tournament winnings and stuff like that. And now I'm finally working on them just because I really enjoy the sculpts and I like how they play and stuff like that. Because I kind of got baited into like a really good, like the Slaves of Darkness sculpts are amazing, right? And the play style is so boring that like I feel like it kind of not I didn't get like tricked, but like I feel like I needed to be more patient. Like waiting
What do you mean?
to see.
Like for Slaves to Darkness?
Yeah, like rules wise, like they'll never be the army that I want them to be, kind of thing. Right. So I think
They might be. Like they're still like, because like I prefer how Skaven played the last 2 editions, right? But like if Skaven came out now and that's like the only way that they played, then I would just be like, I don't really like Skaven's playstyle as much as whatever, right? Whereas or IDK, like it seems like the new IDK is kind of a like even more complicated annoying version of the old one. And so I'm not like super excited about it, but I've always liked their aesthetic, so I'm going to continue to play them in some capacity, but I'm not super jazzed about like the new book personally. But like that doesn't mean that they won't be what I want them to be in the next one. Like, or like Khorne has always, for some reason, been this like super techie army and not at all what you would picture when you see the picture or know their lore. I like the next edition, Slaves of Darkness could be like this crazy techie army that's like the opposite of what they are now.
Yeah,
I'm saying don't sell them. Don't sell your Slaves.
No, I'm not
Okay.
never.
And then it doesn't matter. Yeah. Sorry.
I have a thing where like if I've painted models, like I will never sell them. So it's that's not going to happen. But I think that back to the Hashut thing, like if they make them like super like war machine, like technology, artillery kind of based, that sort of thing, like I might be convinced just because like that sounds rad, right? I think that that's definitely an itch that I would like to have scratched for an army, just because like there's not a lot of stuff in the game that's like that right now. Like you kind of have Skaven, like I was alluding to before. Cities of Sigmar has like the Great Cannon, and I think that's it actually as far as like war machines go, right? Or no, it's got the steam tank and it's got the Celestial Hurricanum as well. But like, yeah, if they did something like big chunky like technology for Hashut, I would probably dig into that.
And is it specifically the like the artillery style? Yeah. And like what, like it can't just be artillery all the way down, right? Like artillery battle line. And so like maybe like kind of maybe like one unit of chaos dwarves, like a unit of like kind of anvil-y dwarves maybe, with a really good save and something like that. And what else? Like what else would kind of scratch what else are you looking for in that itch? Like you want artillery, right? Artillery's cool. I totally dig that.
Yeah. I don't know. Like to be honest, I don't really know what I'm looking for. I just keep reading this like description that this guy wrote, and if they can like package that up visually for whatever this army ends up being, then I'm sold, right? So they should have hired this guy, I guess is what I'm saying.
Oh man. Yeah. Like making something like visually out of that description is hard. You know what I mean? Like I'm the kind of person who could maybe come up with that description, but I'm not the person to like make a piece of art that takes from that. So, but like some of the old Chaos Dwarf siege stuff was really cool. Like they did have trains, as Kenrick is saying in the chat. They did have like a train, But I remember they had like something called like a magma cannon or something like that. Should I pull up some of the Chaos Dwarf stuff? Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
because like they were really how can I? What do I? Dwarf units. There we go. Oh, here we go. List of Chaos Dwarf units. There's also the Total War. I wonder if the Total War one will have pictures. Purdy pictures. War machines. So we've got the Iron Demon, which is... Man, these pictures are so small. Why are they so small? Dang it. Okay. Oh, here we go. I guess we'll just use the... because this is where the models are, I suppose. So you had the Death Shrieker rocket launcher. Can this... There we go. That's pretty big. Can you guys see that okay? The Hell Cannon. Thank you, Ludivicus. Yes, that one. Oh, also, there was a poll on the Discord. So Dreadquake Mortar. Like, what? That thing looks so rad. It also looks like a piece of a train car, by the way. Let me just get that up too. So if we do have a Discord, there's a link in the description below. I see a bunch of people have messaged me on Discord now, but it is in streamer mode as usual. So I will check your messages later. What am I looking up again? Oh yeah. Sag of Dice Discord. There is a poll. Where was the poll again? I'm the one who made it, but I don't remember. Might have been an Age of Sigmar. Yeah, an Age of Sigmar. So Ludivicus came up with this poll idea. Did you see this, Carson? It's on for 24 hours. So if you want to vote in our poll, again, it's totally free to join the Discord, link in the description below. And Ludivicus came up with this poll idea, and it's, are you interested in Shorfs, Chaos Dwarves coming to AOS? And so, did you vote in it, by the way? You did? Okay. Don't tell me. I don't, I'll read them all out. So one answer is no, I'm lame. Fair enough. And then the other one he put is depends on their rules. And I added because I'm lame because, and I like that one person voted on that, by the way. They're just like, no, yeah, I'm going to own this. And then there's 2 votes for depends on their aesthetic because I'm a gentleman. Oh, and it looks like gentlewoman got cut off because there's only so much you can fit on there. And then there are 6 votes for choo choo mother effers. So, Carbson, what did you vote in this poll?
I voted.
Yeah.
Depends on their rules. Parentheses. Because I'm lame.
You're the one person?
Yeah.
God dang it.
Because I like to pretend like.
Oh, sorry. I had to mute myself.
It's okay. I like to pretend like theme and lore and looks is all that matters, but it isn't. Like, I am fundamentally a person that is always going to find like what they do in game important, and it's not even necessarily whether they're good or not. Because I mean, I've been playing ogres hardcore for the past like 3 years through thick and thin. It's just like, do I like the play style? And I feel like I got burned by Slaves to Darkness so bad. Where like even when they were really good, I'm like, I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. Like, so yeah, it does depend on how they play, but it's like a mixture of everything, right? Like it's their aesthetics, how they play, and
I think there's going to have to be like, you don't probably, even though like ironically the lore is like kind of what sort of seemed to catch your interest initially. The lore I think is below aesthetic. And then ultimately for you, you just need to have interesting rules, or you're just kind of like, you're not in it for the paint, to paint things in the hobby. You're in it ultimately to, right? Yeah.
That's kind of what Slaves to Darkness became, is like my hobby paint army, essentially. Where I don't, like, I'm just painting them if I want to paint them. It's not because but like most of the time when I paint something, it's for a tournament or like to get it ready for something. And if I don't see myself playing with a model, like, and it's just going to sit on a shelf, it's like really demotivating for me to want to paint it.
I mean, I think that's true to a certain extent for all of us. Like for me too, like I got spider goblins, arachnaroks, and whatever back in like 20 it wasn't that long after they came out, so I want to say it was like 2019ish, maybe around there. And like even before you arrived, like everyone in our group was like tournament playing. You know, we were one of the top clubs in the world, and like people were very competitive, and I was just like, what the hell am I going to do with this army? Like I could paint it up, spend, you know, hundreds of hours painting into this beautiful thing that's just going to get completely demolished by anyone I know. You know, you just can't play the soft stuff in our group, even at the time. And it's only gotten more competitive since then. Right. So I ended up selling them off, and then I ended up buying them back from the same person who never painted them either. And really great guy. Anyway, so I get it though, because it's like, you know, like at the end of the day, like if you're going to like, I'm at the most hobby orientated I've ever been, where I can like, I'm actually just kind of enjoying painting Skaven and random other things here and there, like Seraphon and Igneth and whatnot. But like at the end of the day, it's like most of us aren't painting things just to paint them. So I love that you answered that, by the way. I put, because like for me, at the end of the day, the buck stops with their aesthetic. For me, like all the army, like what I want to play is I actually want to play an army that's like Slaves to Darkness or Sons of Behemat, where it's like, where I can just have fun. And there's like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to be, but like my three main armies are Skaven, Igneth, and Seraphon. I'm just like, they're all like really complicated. And then I played Iron Jaws, and like Iron Jaws aren't great, but they were like much simpler, and I had like more fun playing them because I'm just like, okay, I could just relax, and you know, if the dice go my way or whatever, like my game plan's simpler, I can just run in and smash things. And yeah, and I played against Mike, and I think Khorne is like inarguably a fantastic army right now. I think they're like one of the best armies in the game. You know, where people put them is up to them, I'm sure, and the grass is probably always greener. But like Mike from our group, Hammond, was like doing like these crazy complicated things with Khorne, and then I went in there with my Maw Crusher and and his Skull Reapers bounced off of my Maw Crusher, and then my Maw Crusher killed them all, almost all of them. And he was just like, well, that's game, because now I don't have any hammers, and you do. And so it was just kind of like, man, that was fun. Like I just went in there and I just smashed things. And, you know, I'm not sure how good Iron Jaws are going to be in this edition, you know. Like there's a lot of -1 to hit out there, and that's going to be really brutal. And I think, you know, whatever, it doesn't really matter. I'm not here to talk about Iron Jaws, but like, I feel the opposite of you. So like, I think it's pretty clear that like my wallet votes with the aesthetic and the lore first. You know what I mean? And then I try to pick things that like I have a chance at winning with. You know what I mean? So like, I really like the new Skaven Warp Blaster, right? But it sucks, you know? But Night Runners have been good and like are good right now. Like I should definitely run 2 packs of 10 for sure. Like, and they would slot into my list perfectly, but I hate the models. Like I hate them with a passion. And I think we're going to get new ones at some point in the future. So I'm just not painting them. Like I'm just not going to do it, you know?
Yeah. I think for most people, but definitely for myself as well, it's not that like one thing will cause you to buy into something. It's usually like a mixture, right? It's like you like the aesthetic and you like the playstyle and you like the lore and all that sort of stuff. Like for me, it's like if any one of those things is completely off, I guess the lore could be bad, but that'd be weird if that was the case. Usually lore is always like fine. But if either the aesthetic or the playstyle I didn't jive with, then I wouldn't play it. right?
Yeah. Well, and Ledivicus said they would really have to F up the sculpts. I actually meant to bring this up. So we were going to stream last week, and then I actually don't remember all the things that kind of, but Scotty, friend of the channel, messaged me, or not. There's two Scots. There's two Scotties actually. Anyway, sorry. So it might not. I don't think it's the one who's in the chat right now, but he messaged me because. So actually, I want to just put it up and see what people think first. I don't want to dang it. Oh man, the new website sucks so bad. Like I can't. Okay, so was it like a week ago that we got the new? There's like a new corn. Like, what are they? Are they underworlds?
Oh, the weird looking ones. Yeah.
Damn it, Carson.
Sorry.
Oh man, I can't find the warband. This website sucks so bad. I don't see what I'm looking for at all. Were they underworlds? Did you find them?
I just sent it to you.
Thank you.
Or that's a rules article.
Like I went so many pages back and I couldn't find them. I'm just trying to show the sculpts. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. This is it. Okay. So Scotty sent me this. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. It is Sigmar Scotty that sent that to me. I wasn't, because there's another Scotty who lives. Actually, I won't say where he lives, but what city he lives in. But anyway, I couldn't remember the username versus the. Anyway, this is so. That's right. Yeah, you sent that to me, Scotty. Okay, I actually forgot about that. To be honest, so I'm going. So, by the way, I'm assuming I have permission to use that thing you sent me. Where is it? There it is. I'll just use the picture. I won't show your Facebook thing. There it is. Oops. Okay, so it's ready. I have it ready. I won't show it yet, but there. That's the same thing. Okay. So first of all, what? Wait, instead of Night Runners, can I interest you in 13 Death Masters? I saw your list. Yeah, that's awesome. I've only got 2 right now. Actually, that's not true because I have Snitch and I have anyway. So Litvika says they would have to really F up the skulls. I agree. Generally speaking, they have only been killing it with AOS for almost a decade now. The amount of sculpts that I can think of that are not great. I remember, and I hope this doesn't upset Carson, but you remember the guy I called Moosey, the Blood Pelt Hunter, right? Dale was originally on the podcast when we saw that, and he was making fun of him, right? I actually think that model's cool, right? And it's very unique. I don't think it's a bad sculpt. I just think it's a bit Marmite, where, you know what I mean? Like Idnith in general, people tend to either love them or hate them. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And we used to get bad sculpts back in the day, like the Lizardman that came out in what was it, 6th or 7th edition? I think it was 7th edition. Remember the old derpy Saurus Cavalry and all those guys? They look really cartoonishly stupid, right? But I think we've only had good sculpts. I can't think of any like sculpts that I think are like genuinely like what I think are like poorly done. But I think these guys are the closest thing that I can think of.
Sorry, I realized I was muted. Yeah, they're pretty bad. I wish we had maybe I can find a better close up.
There is in that article you sent me, right? There was like close-ups, right?
Yeah.
Where? Here, I'll put this up on the thing. Yeah, there we go. Bah, it's so bright. I was trying to avoid that. But like, what's with their faces?
I don't know. It's really
Like were they?
goop. Like,
Yeah, it looks like they were melted. Like, is it like a? Are they going for like a Mad Max thing? Like Furiosa, cannibal, but like corn aren't cannibals, right? I don't think they are. FEC are cannibals. Like they don't have any lips, and like their chin is melting. I don't. Strange mutations, but that's not corn. That's Zeech. Okay. So Qual says, and this is a great point. Oh, thanks for joining us, Kenrick. Sorry, I'm. Wait, am I? Can you guys hear me? So actually, yeah. Okay, you can hear me. So now I'm going to show the picture that Scotty sent me. They're cannibals. Oh, they are cannibals. Okay. I'm not going to comment. I'm just going to send this. But Qual says, I think that they can be saved with the right paint job. And maybe they're cornables. Get out of here, Qual. Okay. But what do we think? Can they be saved with the right paint job? Because that has definitely been a thing in the past.
yeah, I mean, I think it was Louise Shugden, or I can't remember how you pronounce her last name, Rogue Hobbies. She already did a video where she like, I don't know if she repainted them, but here I can send you the picture that she did, where she like
I keep forgetting I'm muted sometimes. Perfect. Louise is so talented. Damn it. I've got too many.
Yeah, they definitely look better.
Wow. You guys couldn't hear me, but wow. Wow. You're right. Like, that's crazy. This is just the paint job? Yeah, right? God dang. I don't know if anything can save. No, you know what? No, like this is awesome. This is so good. This is so much better. Okay. But you know what, though? Who among us could do this paint job? Like,
You know,
the right
problem,
paint
I
job
think,
saved it. That's correct, right? I think we can all agree this is amazing. Like, they're actually badass and really cool looking. But, like, I don't have the confidence that I could take those models and do this and make them look good, which is, I think, kind of the bottom line.
I think the problem is actually that the paint jobs that they did by default are too clean, right? They're cannibals, right? They're supposed to be like super messy, just like vile. Like it's weird that they decided to, like, if you look at the one where it's like gummy mouth or something like that, it's like he's eating bubble gum. Like he's not actually eating like anything bloody, right? And their skin is like completely pristine. There's no like scarring or anything like that. And because of that, it just looks weird. It's almost like did you remember when someone made a great clean one where they took off like all of the like scars and pustules and stuff like that and just like made him this like pristine baby boy, just like sitting in a fat lump. If you haven't seen that before, you should look it up. But it gives that sort of same vibe where it's just like too clean and like it's uncanny because of that.
The uncanny cannibal.
Yeah.
It's the uncanny valley of cannibals. I think it might be a mixture of the two. We won't know until like other people get their hands on them. I don't think this is their best sculpts regardless.
No, definitely not.
Okay. But you're right. They're like, what is with this? And then, by the way, this is nothing on the person who actually painted them. The people who paint them, I don't think they get to choose the scheme or any of that stuff. Like they report to like a superior of some kind. So this is not on them, and we would never direct our, comments at the person who's doing the grunt work. But I'm not sure. I don't know. Like the way Louise painted them is insane. Like they're amazing, and they look like they're cannibals out of Mad Max.
Yeah. Also worth mentioning that apparently it's not an actual physical paint job. She did like a paint over in some software or something. But either way, like I'm sure someone could get them to look like that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, yeah, now I'm just noticing that like the blood effects on their arm are like, yeah, I see. It's like a brush in Photoshop or something. Right. Yeah, and she didn't really do anything to the dog because it didn't need it. Interesting. In fact, so you could probably make them look even better if you were actually painting them individually. Interesting. Yeah. But like this looks awesome. Like this looks really great. And people like, so I'm not like, I went on to there and like our group was actually being no one in our group was crapping on these guys in our Discord, at least that I saw for sure. And yet, so when I looked at them, I was just like, oh, I guess I'm the only person who sees that like they look bad. You know what I mean? But I never want to like make people feel bad about liking something. So I didn't say anything. Right. And then Scotty messaged me, and he was just like, what the hell is with those miniatures? And I was like, okay, I'm not the only one. I don't want to crap on it. I can't remember exactly what I said to him, but I was just like, and then he posted it on Facebook or whatever. My God, the comments were brutal. Like some of them were too far. Some of them were hilarious. And then there was like one or two people were like, that kind of thing. But like, usually it's much more split or positive than that. So you look at Underworlds? No, I don't look at Underworlds, but like sometimes it pops up, I think it was like in the Facebook. I think it was like just on the Age of Sigmar. I don't think I'm in Underworlds for anything. Anyway. So all that to say, as long as the Dwarfs aren't, Goombas from the Super Mario movie, I think we'll be fine.
I agree. And that's that.
Yeah, I think so. Qual says, I distinctly remember Ninjon painting the Demon Prince and thinking he had a third-party model because it looks so different, better. Yeah. Well, and sometimes, honestly, what's happened in the past is sometimes it's just how they take the pictures. Like the Tyrannid, I forget what it's called. The Neurolictor. Have you seen that thing? The picture of it looks pretty stupid. Like really quite stupid. And then I saw a picture of just someone's like grip pick model from their phone, like gray model or whatever. And I was like, what? Like it didn't look like the same model. Actually, like I was just like, is that like a leak or what is this? And then, yeah, I got one and I picked it up and I held it and it looks amazing. And I thought it looked kind of stupid in the GW pictures. And like that's happened to me so many times where I'm just like, it's usually not the paint job. It's usually like for me, it's more often than not the weird angle that they take the picture from that makes it look really bad. And so, yeah, it could be that too. What's that about? Who's going to remain what, Beefy? Louise has a great video about GW's photography. Yeah, I saw that. Like, she was teaching how to do it like GW, but, like, I don't want to do that. Because I think they often don't take great pictures. Like, they try to make the bevel the same size as, like, the base. Like, why would you do that? like, that's usually... Anyway, whatever. Like, yeah. I did see that video. And, like, some of it, like... There's a lot of great videos on how to take better pictures of models. To be honest, though, the best advice I ever got was from Kenrick because he's a cinematographer. And so he was teaching me about the triangle, more about the triangle of ISO versus shutter speed versus what's the third one? I don't know. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But, you know, what to change your camera too. And so I think my pictures have been a lot better lately. Although sometimes they're a little dark because I change certain other things so I can get like a deeper picture and I need to add more lighting to compensate. But yeah, I did like that video, by the way, Riley. That was Chor's AOS army name. Oh, right. Yeah, because Chaos Dwarves were in Age of Sigmar as a Forge World army until they axed Forge World completely. Legion, that's right, Legions of Asgore. But I don't think that'll be their name, though, because I think it'll be something to do with Hashut, like Carson said.
The warband was called Horns of Hashut, right?
Horns of Hashut, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Maybe that's the whole army name now?
Horns? That'd be cool. Yeah. I actually think that's pretty cool. Or, like, what's another name for, like, a blacksmith? Is there like a synonym for blacksmith? Can we Google search that?
Forger, smith, ironsmith, metalworker.
Metalworkers of Hashut. Machinists, ironsmiths, farriers. That's specific to horses, so that's not. Forgers of Hashut. You know what? At the end of the day, I think it's going to be homies. Just go with the alliteration.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Horseshoers of Hashut. There we go. Or what if it was anvils of Hashut? That's kind of cool.
Is there not anvils of something already? Or am I...
Oh, maybe.
Maybe I'm thinking of Anvil Guard.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, demon smiths of Hashut. Hats of Hashut. That would work so well. Artificer. No. Hammermen. Bullion. Okay, I give up. That was a fun little exercise of nonsense. Yeah, I feel like... Oh, let's not leave it on them. Damn it, where is... Yeah, okay, well, we can leave it on that. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mute my thing, PopGo. It's an issue tonight. The Soot of Hashut. That's good too. Yeah. The Ironworkers Memorial of Hashut. Well, anyway, I think we've pooped out all the content to keep people painting for the night.
I think so. I think so. Union of Hashut. That doesn't make any sense. Hammers of Hashut. Yep.
Damn it, that made me like the Union of Hashut, and you're just like, nope. he's not a union guy. They're like what are the people that used to break unions?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Is it was it the Pinkertons?
Yeah, I think so.
Right? So like the Pinkertons of Hashut is so stupid. Actually, Ludivicus has the actual problem one. It's probably Hammers of Hashut. That's so perfect. That's so perfect.
Scabs of Hashut.
That's so gross. I love it. Well, on that lovely note, we're still trying to figure out when we're going to be able to stream next. We're working around a few different schedules, but we'll hopefully have some info on that soon. Anything else that I don't think we're going to be able to actually stream because it's like 11 or something weird AM on a Friday. So it's hard to get everyone's schedules to line up and everything else.
Yeah, I won't be there at that time, but I will be on my way because it's in Tacoma, right? So it's
okay.
Yeah. So I'll be heading down there that day, keeping the ritual alive of me being physically at the reveal place, so I can't be on the reveal show. Yeah.
You suck.
That's me. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
If you ask how was Battered Bison 3, it was great. I got so actually for comparison, this was last year's trophy. For Battered Bison.
Because Carson, are you saying that you won last year's Battered Bison?
Yeah. And then here's this year's trophy for the gigantic bison.
Much bigger
for Battered Bison. So yeah, it's him and his son.
Don't talk to me or my son again.
Exactly. Did you hear?
We can hear stuff. That was great. For those that couldn't hear, because it was like low, it was actually you repeat it.
She said, "Don't talk to me or my son ever again." Yeah, which is exactly how I feel. And I think that if I go back next year and if I win again, I expect it to be an even bigger bison. That just keeps scaling up and it gets harder and harder to fit onto an airplane.
But
it's great. Highly recommend if anyone's interested in going next year. They're thinking about doing it in August instead, I think, just to kind of keep it away from Worlds and like not conflict with anything. So big recommend. Great tournament as always. The swag is always nuts. If you want to hear more about it, we did a show not last week, but the week before with the actual tournament organizers. So thanks to them for coming on.
Did you guys pick a best name?
It was between Kenrick and Robin, I think.
Do you remember the names?
Robin was high glucose corn syrup, which is pretty good. And then I think that Kenrick's His was something like poop or fart related or something like that, and it
Of course it was. That's how you win. He understands the meta. Demandrid Tame says, yeah, was there a face-off between the two top names? That's a good question.
So Kenrick's list name was Forbidden Fart Lords, Heralds of Ripeness.
That's good. And it's not too long. Like, it's right in the zone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. They're both really good. High glucose corn syrup is very, like, succinct, and that's really good.
It is really good. It also helped that when you went to his list, the first thing you saw wasn't a list or a list name or anything. It was just another person's face. It was Kale from his club. It was gigantic. Like, it was just a massive close up of his face. And then you scroll down and you get to see his list. So, yep.
A gentleman and a scholar, clearly. So, thanks so much to everyone for joining us tonight. That was super fun. Sorry for the tech trouble. I'll try and figure it out. Elgato just forced me to update, and then it hated me all night. So hopefully I can figure that out for next week. Yeah, anything I'm forgetting?
Nope. I don't think so. Catch you next time.
Thanks so much, everyone. Bye. Oh. And then...